Welcome everybody to this edition of Office Hours. This is our October edition of Office Hours where we answer questions about our plugin lineup. We talk about WordPress, and so welcome everybody.
Hey everybody.
And we can give Halloween costume recommendations.
Yes.
If you need them.
I like want a Will Ferrell costume.
Oh, good one.
Nice.
Ron Burgundy.
Hilarious.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. Looks like we're getting some folks on here.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had quite a few questions come in through email over the last month since our last session.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a few. Some of them were related, so I tried to group them. But yeah, so we collect. If you have a question that you want to submit to us, you can do that on our Office Hours page, and we will queue that up and answer it during the live webinar.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you attendees have questions as well, you can submit that through the Q&A piece on Zoom. But other than that, we'll go through the questions that have been submitted already. And if you have questions about those questions, you can ask. So.
And also, we've got this going out on YouTube Live. So if you're joining us on YouTube Live, I've got the chat window open there as well. And I'm actually opening up Facebook. If you've got a question, you're already on Facebook, go ahead, pop your question in there, and we will answer it from there as well.
We're
Awesome.
everywhere.
Yeah, at once.
Everywhere at once. Well, should we dive into these emails?
Yes, sir. Let's go for it.
Okay. Let's see what we've got here. Got a few to get through. First one is from Sumaya, and he's asking about creating course dashboard and shortcodes, what our options are for basically placing course outlines.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So up until recently, when we introduced the shopping cart, the only way to get an entry point into a course was either through a course outline or through a course, what we call a course progress page. The difference in the two is the course outline is just that. It's a course outline. It will list all of your modules and units for a single course, for a specific course. The other interesting thing to note about that is you must be logged in order for those links to be live. If you're not logged in, you still see the course outline, but you just can't click any of the links. The course progress page is a little bit different. You have to be logged in order to see anything on the course progress page. And the second thing to note is that it's going to display every single course that that student is enrolled into, unless specified in the shortcode. So previously, those were the two methods to get a course outline on a page. Up until recently, we introduced the shopping cart, and Corey added in a really cool dashboard for your students. So you have an account page now, which has multiple tabs on the account page. One of the tabs on the account page is the course outline. It's actually the course progress shortcode. So your students can log in, and actually the account page has a login form, which is also really cool. And once you're logged in, you'll immediately get redirected to the dashboard, and then from there you can click on the courses tab, and you see all of the course outlines for all the courses that you're enrolled into. So those are your three methods there.
And those pages are created for you automatically when you activate the plugin, correct?
Yeah. So the account page is created automatically when you first install it, with the caveat if you have a membership plugin that we have an integration for, those pages do not get created automatically.
Right. Yeah, because they're going to rely on their own. Most membership plugins are going to create those.
Yeah, I get that question quite a bit in support. I get questions like this, like, I'm selling courses with MemberPress, and I'm using your integration, which is all fine and great. But they're trying to use our account page and our checkout pages to kind of, I don't know, interact, but it doesn't work that way. You have to, if you're going to sell courses with MemberPress, use their checkout pages, use their login form. The only thing you might want to do is figure out how you can maybe do a redirect when your student logs in. But again, that's going to be coming from the membership plugin. There's probably going to be some kind of filter or something where you can add in a redirect.
Right. Yeah, they typically have the log in, log out option where you want to send people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Basically, we've been trying to give those people that want an all-in-one solution an all-in-one solution, but also maintain the ability for them to keep MemberPress or keep WooCommerce or whatever. So I could see how that could get confusing, but.
Well, and one more thing even to add in there, Corey just mentioned WooCommerce. We recently just updated our WooCommerce integration, which was really cool because we introduced a couple of new features in there. One of them is actually we added in an endpoint for courses. So now if you're using your My Account page for WooCommerce, you're going to see an option on the side for courses, much like the one for WP Courseware. And you'll see a list of all your courses in there. It's the course progress shortcode. And then the other two things we added in the integration, might as well talk about them while I'm talking about this. We added in WooCommerce integration with subscriptions and with memberships. So check out our WooCommerce integration. It's hot off the press. There's a video on YouTube on how to use it. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's great that we were finally able to address those two. Because I know we've gotten that question quite a bit with memberships and subscriptions.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Woo is pretty popular.
Oh man, I think Woo. What's the statistic out there? Isn't it WooCommerce powers like, I don't know, it's 25-30% of all e-commerce stores online?
Yeah, something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's something pretty insane.
Yeah. Good stuff. Okay. Well, next up, I've got a two-part question from Sohel. And first question is, does WP Courseware plugin allow video uploads from the trainee? If it does, what's the max size and where will it be stored? I guess that's kind of two questions in one.
So the way I'll answer this is technically it can be done if you're using a quiz with an upload style question. However, I kind of have a feeling maybe that might not be how you're intending to use it. But if you are, that's the way you would do it. So you would create a quiz. You would add in a question that's a file upload type question. And then you would need to make sure that you configure the MIME types. So you would need to add MP4 or whatever video file type that you're trying to allow them to upload. And then once they submit the quiz, since that quiz question type is a manually graded question, you'll have to go in and grade their quiz anyway. And when you do that, you'll have a link, a little, I think it's just a hyperlink to the actual file. So you click it, it'll pop right open. So on the back end, it's actually stored in the WP content, WP Courseware uploads folder. And then in there's probably some subfolders. It's probably going to be pretty difficult to figure out where exactly that is. But if you just click that URL when you're grading the quiz, you'll be able to pop that video open. As far as trying to upload or providing a method to upload a video, say on a course unit, you could probably use a plugin like, I don't know, Ninja Forms. I think they've got some add-ons where it allows you to upload files. I'm sure Gravity Forms or maybe even Formidable have similar options.
Send them to Dropbox or S3 or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That would be the caveat that you probably, if you're going to be getting a lot of large video files from your students, you probably don't want those being uploaded to WP content on your shared hosting or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be okay. Where you run into problems is if you have a lot of people trying to view that particular file simultaneously, then you'll drag your web server down. But I agree with Nate. If you can put it somewhere else like AWS, Dropbox, Google Drive, you're probably better off.
Yeah. I mean, having an integration with some type of forms plugin like Ninja Forms or Gravity Forms is probably the best option there, especially if it's a requirement for the unit, because they have integrations that can upload to Dropbox or Google Drive or Amazon S3. So that's what I would go with, is some type of forms plugin on some type of form on the unit. Of course,
right. Yeah, and if you needed to, you could still use like a one-question WP Courseware quiz.
Yeah, you could.
And if it needs to be manually scored or graded or something, you could put a stopgap in there so that you could score it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think we've had that one before. And I think we talked about this last month. The second part of his question was about the group enrollment, which we discussed last month, and we're hoping to get to that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Oh, here's a fun one from Rosa, who is asking about translating WP Courseware into Spanish.
Yeah. So translating plugins is not necessarily the easiest thing in the book. It's actually rather a pain is really what it is. It's not necessarily difficult. It's sort of a pain. And then where most people get, I guess there's a snag where people run into that most people don't know about. And so what happens is somebody uploads or updates a plugin. Like, for example, we send out an update for WP Courseware. There's a potential chance that we've added in some new text strings, and your translations don't automatically get updated. So you have to update your translation files. So that's kind of the biggest catch with translating files. Now, there's a really cool plugin called Loco Translate. I just created a video on this on YouTube. But Loco Translate is really cool because you can go in, you can specify a language that you want to create. Creates the language file for you. You don't have to do that manually. It does it for you. And then you can literally just begin translating your plugin or your theme almost immediately. The really cool part is if somebody updates their plugin and new text strings come into play, there's a simple little button. It's a sync button, and you click the button and it automatically updates your translation. It brings in all the new text strings, and so you can immediately translate those, and you're good to go. So I highly recommend using Loco Translate. Otherwise, it's sort of a pain to do. You've got to get the translation template file, open it up in PoEdit or POEdit. I don't know what you call it, PoEdit. I call it PoEdit. And you translate in there, and then it spits out a couple files, and then you have to put them in the right folder. If you don't put them in the right folder, if you put them in the plugins folder, they're going to get erased as soon as you update that plugin. So there's a lot of caveats with that. So my recommendation, use Loco Translate. It's a great plugin.
Right. You don't have to worry about the line number changing in files and yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And we, I think we talked about this on a previous webinar, but at one point we were trying to keep a library of translated files that we could pass on to customers, but it's just not, with the number of changes we have, it's just not feasible.
So I just saw a question come through from attendee, I believe is the same one. It says, can, I believe, read on the...
Oh, Charlotte.
Charlotte. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I have a question from Charlotte. Glad you're here.
Should we do the question there? Is it the same question?
I believe it's the same question.
Okay.
Interacting with the new course builder. We actually had a couple related to this for this month.
Oh, okay.
People asking about how to use the new course builder.
Mm-hmm. So we can do a demo either right now or once we finish all the rest of the questions. So,
do you want to demo that, Corey? Do you have something available? Do you have a local install that's ready to go?
I believe so. Let me just look.
If not, I probably could get one fired up here pretty quick.
Okay.
Or maybe not.
I think I have one. I just got to start it here.
Yeah, I think I just started the wrong one is what it was.
So do we want to do that now or just answer a couple other questions while we get it running?
Yeah, you know what? Let's jump in there real quick and do that. I think it's a good one to do.
Okay.
So what I would do too, Corey, is I know you're going to probably create a module, a unit, maybe create a couple units and a couple modules, and also show the drag and drop feature, because I think that's kind of where some of the confusion has been coming in.
Sure.
So.
Okay, I'm pulling that up right now.
Okay.
And if we can, we had a, let's see, where was that? We had another email come in from Jeremy who asked about the front end. So maybe we can pop over and demo that too, just what it looks like with the course page.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Just give me one sec.
Sure.
Oh, also make sure and remove a course unit from a course. Looks like Ken's looking how to do that.
I saw that.
Yep.
Okay.
Man, I can't believe it's already it's 10 o'clock here. I haven't had my coffee yet. Can you believe that, Nate?
No coffee.
You know what? I've been working really hard this morning. I haven't had time, believe it or not.
Okay, I've got some up here and running. Let me just share my screen here. I'm going to quit some applications, save on memory here, because once I share my screen, it starts to go a little slow.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
bogs down.
Yeah,
Okay.
my computer does the same thing.
Right? Okay, let me just close some of these.
Hey, Corey,
Okay.
do me a favor. Do a command plus a couple times and see if you can increase that font size and stuff like that.
Can you see it?
Yeah, that's better.
Looks better. Okay, so I have basically a brand new install. It doesn't have much on it except for if I go to pages, I have, just trash this quick. So I have some basic pages. So I have a home, a blog page, privacy policy, and then these are the courses that, these are the pages that WP Courseware has created. So I have the courses as the home page. Notice that it says front page.
Yep.
And put blog down there. So on the front end, if you go to the home page, notice that the courses are outputting on the home page. And I am currently logged in, but if I were to go into incognito, I would get the enroll buttons and the purchase buttons depending on the settings of the course. So let's just go into the free course, which is marked as free. And we'll kind of go through how the course builder works. So down here at the bottom are course settings. That includes like the unit visibility, access, description of the course, payments. This is a free course. Any messages that go along with the course, like when the unit is complete, etc.
Those messages right there that you were just on, Corey, those are on-screen messages.
Mm-hmm.
And one question, just to kind of relate to what Rosa was just asking about translation, these actual text strings here, this is where you actually translate them. If you translate them in the translation file, that just translates the actual template when you build a new course to set the default. But if you want to actually translate those strings, you do it right here. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're looking to put your site into Spanish and you want all these messages to be in Spanish, you can go in here and change them.
Yep.
And then the same thing goes with emails. So like this is the email template, and we have merge tags in here. And if you hover over the little icon, it'll give you kind of a description of what those merge tags do.
Yep.
But they should be pretty self-explanatory. Certificate settings, so you can choose to enable certificates or not. Any course prerequisites, so and then tools, so such as the bulk grant access and then the reset progress on this course. So that's the course settings. That's pretty self-explanatory. But above it says course builder. This is kind of the meat and the potatoes of building your course out. So over here on the left, when you hover over any of these items, there are controls to the right-hand side, such as adding a unit, editing this module. So if I click this edit button, it will open up the module and we can edit it. The link button will take you to the actual module edit page. And then if I were to click trash, that would just remove the module from this course. Okay.
Right. It doesn't actually delete. It doesn't delete the module. It just removes it from the course.
Yeah. So if I click OK, then it should delete that module. And if I go into modules, it's still.
Actually, I don't think it displays there, but it displays if you go to add a module, Corey.
Right.
You can reselect it.
No, well, not with modules. With units, you can.
Oh, with units.
Units, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So does it? So then, does the module that delete? I thought that didn't.
It does delete.
It does delete. Okay, so that
are specifically associated with a course.
That's right. Okay, so modules do delete. Okay.
Do delete. So
okay, that's right.
If you wanted to start from scratch and you had the course builder and you wanted to add the modules or the outline of your course, you would just click. So, you know, this could be like intro module, give a module description. This. Add, and you can add another one. Test module. So once that's done, just click X. And if you click on the actual module anywhere in it, it will expand, or you can click the arrows on the right side. And if you want to expand all of them, you can click this upper arrow and it will expand and collapse all of them. Okay. So once we have a module, we can then add either a unit by one of these two links. So I'm going to click add unit, and it gives me two options. Either I can add one or I can select an existing unit. Now, these are units that exist in the units post type that are available to be selected. So I'm going to go ahead and select these two units and insert them. And notice that these units have now been inserted. Now, if I wanted to reorder how these units were listed, I just hover over the bars and I drag and drop. And once I do that, it'll say unit order updated successfully.
And you can do the same thing with modules too.
You can do the same thing with modules. So let's say I want a test module before intro module, then I just drag and drop it. Okay. Now, if I wanted test unit to be inside the test module instead of in the intro module, you can do that too. You can drag it to the module. Okay. Yeah. And let's say that I didn't want either one of these in there. Great. Now they're all in test module instead of intro module. Now I'm going to add a brand new unit to the intro module. I can't type this morning. Do that. Okay, so now I have this intro unit, and if I go into units, notice that I have the intro unit here that's associated with the free course to the intro module, right? So if let's just say I didn't want to add that, well, I can go over here and I can click this delete or trash button, and it'll say, are you sure you want to remove intro unit from this course? Click OK. Okay, it's removed. But if I go back to my units, notice that it just says it's not associated with any course or module.
But it still exists. It's still there.
It still exists. Right. So if I were to add a unit again, and I went to select existing units, notice that this is the only unit that is not associated with a course or module. So it allows me to select it, and then I can reinsert it. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yep.
And so at this point, inside units, you can now add quizzes. So if I click add quiz, again, I can select an existing quiz, which I don't have any, or I can add a new quiz. Adding quiz. And so now that's the lowest level that you can go. So let's say that I wanted quiz not in test unit, but in the testing unit. I can drag that in there as well. And so only one quiz can be associated with one unit at the same time. So let's say I were to add another and I tried to drag this into here, it doesn't work because you're only allowed to have one quiz per unit. Okay.
Yeah, and so if you want to edit that quiz, because obviously you've just created kind of a base quiz, just the settings. If you click the link, so if you hover over the link, you can open it in a new window, and then you can configure the quiz.
Yep, that's right. So you can manage your questions, add multiple choice, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
The only thing that this edit button does is it allows you to edit the quiz title and the quiz description. Later on, we're going to try and put questions and stuff like that in the same box, but for now, you have to click the link to be able to edit that quiz. Okay?
Yep. So we had a question come in on YouTube from Dale. Dale's asking, when adding additional units to an existing module, is there a way to notify people who came into the class earlier or any way to auto email them? So my answer to that is no, there's not a way to automatically email somebody if you add a new unit to a course. But I also want to mention this because this actually just happened the other day on support. Somebody had added a brand new unit. It was an intro unit to the very first module. It was the very first unit of the course, and they added it. And so some of the students had already progressed to module 3 or 4 or something like that. And they couldn't figure out why they couldn't progress to the next unit in module 3 or 4, wherever they were. Well, they have to go back and finish or mark as complete on that very first unit that is not completed. So when you have the setting, it's right there. Corey's right on it. Course unit visibility. If you have that selected right there, that means you have to complete course units in serial. So the first uncompleted course unit must be completed. So
yeah, and if I were to view this course right now, notice that I have the course outline, and I haven't completed the first module. So the rest of the modules aren't ready for me to complete yet, but as soon as I do, I click next unit, previous unit, and if I go back to the course outline, I refresh this page, notice that I've completed the first one and now the next one is available. So this right here is the course single, meaning that this is what people see if they click on, so if I were to go to the home page and I were to click on free course, this is what they would see. And if I had added like I'll also get a description here as well.
Right. And while you can't automatically notify a student, you could manually send a classroom email if you add a new content, right?
That's right. So if you go to View Classroom and notice that I have 2 students enrolled, what you could do is go up to this little button and say Email Classroom and say new module available. You guys, new module available, and you could put in the link. Thanks. Send this email, and if we open up our, notice that each of those people got the new module. Hey guys, new module available, type deal. So that's one option that you could do, is after you add that new module or whatever, you could go into the classroom and email them.
Right.
An option.
That's a great point there, Corey.
Yeah. Yeah, that feature is pretty handy.
Oh, for sure.
And as long as you're not constantly adding content, but even then, you still have the option to just, with one email, let everyone know.
Exactly.
Cool. Okay.
So is there anything I missed, guys? I kind of went through it fast.
No, I think that was pretty good, Corey. I think you covered pretty much everything.
Yeah, and there are a lot of shortcodes in here, and we've fixed the height on this box not to make this page too long. So if you're in here and you can't quite see the next module or whatever, just scroll down. I think that might be something people might get confused about, but and again, you can click on anywhere in this area on any one of these modules to collapse and expand it, other than the arrows. So
yeah, pretty happy with the new course builder.
And if you're by chance not seeing something as well, this is another quick tip. If you click this refresh button, it will pull all the new information. So let's say that you went into, I don't know, a unit or something like that, and you still had this screen open, and you added a unit to this course manually. Without refreshing the page, you can just click this refresh button, and it'll show up. That makes sense.
Nice.
Yeah, not too bad.
What I was going to say, you might want to, well, I guess we can answer this without screen sharing. Where was I here?
I can keep my screen open.
Well, we had a question from John just asking about what shopping cart is included with the plugin. I guess we probably don't need screen sharing for that. But.
No. So basically, the shopping cart includes 2 payment gateways. We include PayPal Standard and Stripe. Stripe also has an option for Stripe Checkout, which is it's a little bit different than just regular Stripe. It actually produces a little pop-up window so that you can enter your credit card information, but either Stripe solution or either Stripe option still keeps you on page. People check out on page, opposed to PayPal, which takes you to PayPal site and then back to your website.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So you basically got two payment gateway options and 2 ways to charge for your course, either one-time fee or recurring subscription.
Right. And that's set up in the course settings. So if you go into course settings and you go to payments, You can choose free, one-time, or subscription. So, okay.
Awesome.
I did see a chat come through from Rush Brady, and he said, when you click the link for a unit, it opens into a full-size page. What if I want it to open into a small modal or pop-up window so you can just watch the video, for example? How do I do that?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten that before.
No, I don't think so.
Is there a third-party plugin that you could use to display a CPT in a modal?
Yeah, and I think he's talking about like when you click the link for a unit, test unit, it goes to here. Technically, we don't support that. I mean, technically, we don't support that out of the box, but I'm sure with some development that could be possible.
Yeah.
So it would take some customization for sure to be able to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a plugin that may already display content like that.
We just got a question in on YouTube, another one from Dale. He says, I use WooCommerce, and I want the demo version of each course to have the new customer enrolled automatically. Can I do this? Dale, as long as you're using the integration for WooCommerce, you can enroll any person that purchases a product into a single or multiple courses. So the short answer to that is yes, you can do that, but you have to be using the integration add-on.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Another email?
Yeah.
All right. Kat is asking another two-part question. First is about aMember integration, which I've had a few of these in our pre-sales queue recently, but they actually built at the request of one of our early WP Courseware customers. aMember actually decided to build their own WP Courseware integration. And at one point I worked with it extensively, but I cannot remember where it is. But I'm sure their support team would be able to tell you where. It's just a little checkbox on one of the menus that allows you to use courses within your memberships. But I'm sure aMember has documentation for that.
Yep.
Let's see. This one, the second part of the question, looks like a plugin conflict. Will we be fixing the fatal error glitch that makes it currently impossible to use the post-Gopher plugin with WP Courseware?
The post-Gopher plugin.
I'm not sure I know what post-Gopher is. It turns your posts into PDFs.
Wonder if there's a conflict with TC-PDF core. Could be. But didn't we just fix a conflict recently? Or no? Man, I can't remember.
We kind of did.
I think that's, if I had to guess, that's probably what it is.
Okay.
Between the libraries.
Between the libraries. It's probably just like some name spacing, or maybe they're using an old version. We're using the newer version. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It would take some testing. It's hard to guess.
That would just be a troubleshooting.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with that one. Let's see. Well, this is a good one from Sandy. What integrations does WP Courseware require to be a full LMS with member management, landing pages, funnels, email, course creation, payment processing, and content storage. And I think WP Courseware is going to handle all of those except your landing pages.
And the funnels.
And the funnels, yeah. That's going to need to be built into your landing page, and your autoresponder series will need to handle that part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ClickFunnels is good for that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's many integrations that you could attach on to WP Courseware that could give you most of these options. But right now we already, you could make landing pages just out of regular pages. There's course creation and management already. There's payment processing. As far as content storage, depending on what kind of storage you're talking about, whether that's PDFs, I'm sure there's a plugin that you can install onto WordPress that would allow that. And so WordPress is just very extendable in and of itself. And WP Courseware tries to make it as easy as possible to integrate with other plugins. So lots of things that could be done to satisfy her question.
Yeah, there's pretty much with the units just being a custom post type, there's pretty much a plugin out there to embed or display any kind of media you could ever hope to use.
Yeah.
Cool. We actually have a post on the blog about that, I think, with the, I think it's a Google Doc viewer plugin that we reviewed, and that allows you to drop in PDFs or spreadsheets and display that stuff on your site or in your lessons. Okay. Wow, guys, you nailed all of the emails that I got over the last month.
Cool.
Yeah. That's quite a few there. Good stuff. Good questions.
So Rush is asking a couple more questions, I noticed.
Okay.
He says, on the student account endpoints page, it says it can be left blank to disable the endpoint. So it's not that it can be blank. It's just if you disable the student account page, well, I see what you're saying.
Well, no, it's not that they're blank. It's just they should. So, like on the student account page, there's endpoints for checkout.
Yeah.
And so if you have checkout enabled, you've got to have the endpoints.
Yeah. So I did notice that it does say in there they should be unique and can be left blank to disable the endpoint.
That's probably a bad description.
Right. Yeah, it's probably just a bad description. Not only that, but I'm pretty sure that it's technically a bug.
Well,
so we'll try and fix that.
Yeah, Rush, just go ahead and submit a ticket in our help desk. So just remind us, and we'll check that out.
Yeah, and Rush, the same with your other question about the pop-up on the course outline. So if you wanted to have the link on the course outline, unfortunately, the course outline is it contains a lot of legacy code, and it's harder to customize than some of the other parts of WP Courseware. So I understand that you want to add a class to that link, but right now it's kind of difficult to add a class to that link without some type of JavaScript in there. So again, if you want to just submit that to our support desk, we'll try and help you out as much as possible.
Yeah, we can't make any promises on that one though. I mean, Corey's working through rebuilding WP Courseware. There's a lot of legacy code that we're still working through. Unfortunately, it's not very developer friendly. We understand that, but we're doing our best to get that set up so that developers can, come in and do things like this, add in a class, maybe through a filter or through a hook. And so, it's technically not a bug. It's the way it's built, but we are working to improve that.
Just a short-term limitation.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish we could have it be perfect every time, but
yep.
Just the way development goes sometimes. So
yep.
We're working through it though.
But that's a positive to get these questions, because when we hear this stuff from you guys, we kind of know. Yeah, we know what direction we need to head in, and it's always so interesting, the use cases.
Oh yeah,
because there's no way we could have thought of all the possible use cases just to get the functionality that we currently have.
Yeah.
And going back to the student account endpoint, and Rush was confused, and rightfully so. It does say, it can be left blank to disable the endpoint. It's just something we overlooked. So now, we could go back and say, okay, how do we allow the users to disable that endpoint in a more intuitive way? Maybe we put a button next to it that says disable, and that's as simple as it is.
Yeah, I think what happened, Corey, if I remember correctly, we were working through that, and that was initially the idea, was to make those blank in order to disable them. But then we decided to disable the orders and subscription endpoint if they weren't using a payment gateway by default.
Right.
And so I think we added in the description without adding in the functionality. So I don't think it's a bug. I think we overlooked the description, but we could probably make that happen.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes feedback from you, our customers, to be able to realize that maybe that's not so intuitive, and so that helps a lot.
No doubt.
Yeah.
That's why we have these office hours. Really.
Yes. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of good new feature requests that I've never heard of through these webinars.
Right.
Yeah. Some good stuff.
Love it.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that might be it.
I think so.
Cool.
I don't see anything left.
Just going back through just to see. We have one new message. I
thought about that earlier, Charlotte.
So she said you may want to put some pop-up text on the trash can button so that people know that it's to remove, not to delete.
And I think that when you hit the trash can, you get a notification at the top, and it does say remove. I did check that just now.
Oh, it's do you want to remove it from the course?
Yeah, it says do you want to remove it from the course, so it's not delete.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know, unless you want to add a tooltip, maybe. I don't know, Corey, like a mouse over tooltip type deal. But it does say remove.
Yeah. So if you go into a unit, maybe if it lets me here. So yeah, if you were to hover over this, that's valid. But
I wonder if eventually we could have both both options, like just remove it from the course or delete it entirely.
Yeah, I mean, that could definitely be an option as well. Yeah, it does. Are you sure you wish to remove test unit from this course? Maybe we could say something like, it will not delete it. It will just remove it, or something.
Or another option could be to just change the icon from a trash can to something else, like maybe like a circle with a slash in it or something. It's not the trash can, because trash can kind of
implies delete.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
That's a good point.
That's how I would see it.
Yeah. I mean, that's all good feedback,
For sure.
So, love it. All right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. Did we plow through it all?
I think we've got it.
Awesome.
Next up is November 23rd, I believe.
Cool. Wow.
Cool.
It's going to be turkey time.
Yes.
Can't
Did
wait.
we do that? Didn't we do that last year, the day after Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we did.
Yeah, I think we did, man.
I guess it would have worked out the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys are up for it, I'm good.
Yep.
Yep. I'll probably be in a coffee shop somewhere on that day just because I'm not going to be home in my hometown. But
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I think I'm traveling, but it's no big deal. I think it'd be fun to do it in a coffee shop.
Yeah, I'll be somewhere like that as well. I'll be traveling. So
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to our October edition of Office Hours. And we hope to see you next month, November 23rd. And I believe the time change is going to happen. So is that going to be at 12 p.m. Eastern?
That will still be, well, we advertise it as 1 p.m. Eastern, so I guess that's going to make it.
Are we going to keep it at 1 p.m. Eastern then?
You guys will be on the same.
Mhm.
You guys won't have any changes, right? Be the same time
No,
for
I
you.
think we will. I mean, we don't change our time here, but we will change.
Yeah,
I think we'll have to be on at 11 if we
Right.
keep it at 1.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, let's just keep it one. It's fine.
Okay, so 1 p.m. Eastern next month, November 23rd, day after Thanksgiving. So hope to see you all then. Please send in your office hours questions. We'd be happy to answer them. And we probably won't see you for Thanksgiving. So have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you the day after. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.